What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of That's Bingo's Sports Podcast. I am Joe Hendry, once again joined by my co-host, Kyle Eggers and Jacob Beach. Boys, how you guys doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
Fantastic.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Beach, how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was great.
That's good.
Arizona beat Michigan State on Thanksgiving, so that was
Yes,
what
they
made
did.
it great.
Yes,
That
they
was a good
did.
game.
Yeah, it was fun times.
Kyle, how about yourself?
Fantastic. My family's still vegetarian, so not super great.
How was the tofu?
It was chewy.
Do they at least make it look like a turkey, or how does that work?
One year, we literally had it look like a turkey, like a toy, like a kid's toy turkey, and we cut it.
I was thinking of the squeaky chickens that you press and
No.
it makes a really loud noise outside. For a second, I was like, why would they make it look like that?
That
Yeah, it
would ruin my life, I think.
It was pretty brutal. But sports Thanksgiving, fantastic. Vintage Jared Goff performance. It was just it was a good day.
100%. I spent last year with the Beaches, so I missed out on his family's strawberry pretzel salad this year, unfortunately.
Ooh.
So dude,
Phenomenal.
Shout out Beaches family for that.
Pretzel.
Dude, it is so good. I when they pulled it out, I was like, what is that? I've never seen this on a menu or on a Thanksgiving meal before. But maybe try it, and I'm super thankful.
For those of you that have no idea what it is, because I don't know even where it came from, it's basically this concoction of pretzels that you basically almost crisp or burn, and then you put strawberry jello, strawberries, and cream cheese and whipped cream all in this big concoction, and it's phenomenal. It's like a layered thing. It's like a dessert. It's so good.
No salad at all. Yeah,
it's not a salad at all. It's my type of salad, if we're being honest.
It's so good. It's so good.
Who lets you cook?
Beach, what was your stat line on your turkey bowl, man? Tell us about that.
Oh,
so I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was the Monday night game last year that Travis Kelce had, where he had 5 catches for 4 touchdowns and about 30 yards. But that was about my stat line. I put up about 5 catches for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns. I also had a goal line interception, which was pretty cool.
Wait,
Vince Wilfork out there.
Vince Wilfork. They threw it over the middle, and it bounced off the receiver's hands, and I reached up, one hand just snagged it out of the air. It was pretty incredible.
You're an athlete.
Wow.
Did you return it 99 yards the other way, or what?
I returned it about 2 yards.
We'll take that.
100%. Kyle, you just got back from Texas, watching the alma mater GCU play some basketball, man. How was that? Tell us about that little trip.
Skull ups, baby. Yeah. It was
up,
cool. It was cool. The squad pulled out the dub. Honestly, I highly doubt anybody watched that game, but we didn't look great. But we have 2 just studs offensively. We have 2 studs this year. We got the returner Ray Harrison, had 20 something, which is fantastic. But we had our grad transfer Tyon Grant Foster, who was originally at Kansas that year that they won the Natty. He was getting minutes as a freshman. You have to be legit to be getting minutes as a freshman on the national championship team.
Yeah.
And he's now playing for GCU. He had 25, and it was an athletic 25. So I think GCU is going to be pretty solid this year.
Real quick, if I can interject, that Tion's story is one of the coolest stories in college basketball this year. For those of you that don't know, I know we probably don't have a lot of GCU basketball fans, but he basically had, I think it was a heart condition, and it looked like he was going to be forced to end his career. And that was only, I think, 2 years ago. And so to go from that to 2 years later, really just be starring on this GCU team and really being an impact player and arguably their best player so far has been really exciting. It's such a cool story, man. I love hearing those comeback stories like that and just getting to see the kid ball out on the court now.
Yeah, he was at I was reading a bunch of articles after the game because I was like, where did this guy come from? And he transferred to DePaul after Kansas to try to get a bigger role essentially. And at halftime of his first game at DePaul, he had to leave. he went to the hospital because of this heart condition. And then the first game, like almost 2 years later, or I think it was even a little over 2 years later, he has 30 points for GCU in a dub.
Yeah.
It's like so sick. So sick.
Yeah. That's super cool. It'll be fun to watch him this year. Drew's got that team. Bryce Drew's got that team playing well. He recruits well too, so I love watching that.
He's a dog.
100%. So, well, now that we're on the topic of college sports, I think we should dive into the show for the day. So, sticking with college hoops for the time being, U of A pulled out a real solid win, as Beach said, on Thanksgiving Day over Michigan State. I know they're 3-3 now, down to like 25th in the country, but I mean they're still a good team, quality program with Izzo there. But dude, Jaden Bradley, that shot was pretty awesome, man. They had some key plays down the stretch. Beach, what was your overall impressions with that game?
Real quick, because you just touched on Jaden Bradley, and I think he might have been my biggest takeaway from that game overall. I mean, Keyshawn Johnson did what he was supposed to do, and Caleb Love hit some big shots. But Jaden Bradley came in the second half, and I'm trying to think of Michigan State's best player. His name's escaping me. But he had a fantastic first half and was absolutely torching Arizona. And so Tommy Lloyd basically said, hey, Jaden, whenever this guy's in the second half, you're going to be in and you're going to slow him down. And Jaden came out in the second half. He held him for 2 of 8 shooting, made it very difficult on him. And he obviously hit that big shot, but it was the defensive end that really solidified that game for us. And so there's a lot of Arizona fans that were like, man, is this kid going to even bring anything? Like, he just looks lost out there for the first few weeks. And that game against Michigan State showed just how good he can be and how much he can help this team. So it was a big day for him, and I'm excited to see how he can move forward from that.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, it's even, again, the early season schedule for U of A has been really, it's been good already. And dude, it's only going to get more difficult, but awesome. You know, I mean, you got Purdue coming up pretty soon. That'll be a big game. FAU, you know, so dude, you guys, it's been a gauntlet so far, and you guys have passed the test, which is awesome.
Yeah, that now it's looking like Arizona will be the number 1 team, assuming they take care of business tomorrow after Purdue lost tonight against Northwestern in overtime. So,
yes, sir.
Pretty crazy. Fun
Go
times.
Cats. Be a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun until they lose a game and don't go to number 1, right?
Shut up.
Stop.
Shut up.
All right, moving on to football, though. Conference championships kicked off tonight. Super exciting Saturday ahead of us. Obviously, Conference USA, first things first, want to touch on that. Not Power 5, but Liberty completed. I mean, they're one step closer. I mean, to an undefeated season, 13-0. They defeated New Mexico State, so skull Liberty with that. I'm curious to know if they'll get into New York 6 Day Bowl, but I mean, it's a small conference. I don't remember.
Definitely just said New York.
Did I say New York?
Yes.
New Year's. My bad.
I swear you said New York, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, they're going to one of the New York 6 bowl games. No, they're going to a New Year's Day bowl game. Hopefully, I think it'd be cool to see Liberty. I mean, they're undefeated, but I mean, I've never seen them play. So,
what does this mean for the playoff?
I don't know.
Put them in.
I know tonight's other game though means a lot for the playoff. Oregon lost to Washington. Washington is another step closer to their undefeated season. Man, that was an awesome game, dude. That back end of it where Oregon completed that real long pass to pull it within 3 again. That was what a fun offensive game, dude.
No kidding.
It was just a great game overall. There were great plays offensively, defensively, and you know, I know as I was texting Joe earlier, and I was like, man, I wish Arizona was in this game, but those were the 2 deserving teams in the Pac-12 that should have been there. They were the 2 best teams all year. It was awesome to see them there.
You did not have to add that in there.
But it did.
Yeah, he texted me. He's like, I wish Arizona was in this game. I'm just bitter.
He wishes that Arizona was in every game.
This is true. He goes, I don't know what I would do if Arizona was in this game. I'm like, dude, you would be at the game. Don't even tell me you don't know what you do.
Yeah, he would. He would be there.
100%.
Oh man.
But
anyways, it was just those were the 2 best teams in the conference all year, and they showed it tonight. What a phenomenal game, and congratulations to Washington, and obviously they're going to be in the playoff, and now we just see what New Year's 6 bowl Oregon ends up in.
Yeah, Dude, it's tough to like beating a team twice. I've always been a
Oh,
big
it's
proponent,
so hard.
I went with Washington because I thought they were better, but I almost went with Oregon thinking like beating a team 2 times is so difficult in
Especially a
a
team
sport
that
like
good.
that. Exactly. So, but dude, like they did it. They beat the best team on their schedule twice. So Washington fully deserves to be in there, and like you said, the 2 best teams in the Pac-12. Dude, what a way for the Pac-12 to go out, right?
I hope they take it home for the Pac-12 Conference of Champions one more time.
That would be the perfect ending.
Bill Walton would
That'd be so
super
sick.
excited about that.
Can we just talk about real quick? This is the best example of why the playoff needed to expand.
Yep.
I mean, we are sitting here now, and we're talking about the 4 teams that are going to get in, right? And it's a toss-up between 1 through 8. I mean, we're all talking about the different scenarios of what if Bama wins this week, or what if Texas wins, or what if they lose, and what happens with FSU, and if they're down to a third-string quarterback, but they somehow win. Like, it's one of those things that 12-team playoff next year, I am so excited to see, because it just opens up the door for so many more teams to get in and just makes so many more fun games a possibility. Yeah. Like you were just talking about, Joe, with Liberty. Like now all of a sudden they might get the chance to knock on the door. Texas would be in, Alabama would be in. You'd get all these teams in and you would create these really exciting and intriguing matchups. And yeah, there might be the occasional blowout, but we're already getting blowouts in the playoffs as it is. So what difference does it make? I think this will only increase the visibility of the playoffs for college football, and it'll only make it way more exciting. I can't wait till next year, personally, to see this and to see this come to fruition.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine like how we would be talking about Arizona football right now if it was a 12-team playoff and we're 3 spots out of a playoff spot. Like it would be insane. Like what they're trying to do, which I think is awesome, is essentially take the magic of March Madness and apply it to football, which is just like the best thing ever. I literally can't wait. It's going to be electric.
Yeah. The only problem I see with it, and this isn't even a problem with the playoffs, is like the people are going to be like, all of a sudden you're going to have 12 and be like, well, there's like 15 teams that deserve to make it, and then they're going to start the conversation all over again of like, well, expand it to 24 or whatever, but I think, dude, like you said, Beach, I'm super stoked for it to get to 12. I think that's a great number just based off of even what we've seen for the past several years. It's like, okay, you have those 2 to 3 teams that have just head and shoulders above the rest, but then you have 10 or so that are very good and can knock off anybody on any given week. And you got a team like U of A this year that starts off average and then takes off late in the season, and they got hot at the right time. Who knows what kind of noise they could have made this year in a 12-team format.
Yeah,
you have no idea what Beach would do if Georgia and Arizona matched up and Noah Fafita is dicing up Georgia's defense.
I would be insufferable.
We would never hear from him again.
I would just fall off the grid.
Dude, there was a pass tonight that Michael Penix made that like he overthrew it, and I just get a random text that goes Fafita better. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's no reason for that, man.
I texted him and it was the first quarter, and it was when Penix threw that ball to McMillan on the outside, and he jumped up with one hand and tried to catch it, and I was like, McMillan's better. Yeah.
He would have caught that with one hand. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Would have though.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Let's talk about tomorrow's games though for a little bit. Texas plays Oklahoma State for the Big 12. I feel like Texas is a foregone conclusion to win that one. I could be wrong, but
Oklahoma State has sealed their fate. They are going to lose this game. They had a date with destiny, and they decided that they lost the game. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, if you didn't see the news, there was a dead Longhorn found outside an Oklahoma State frat house the day before the Big 12 championship game, and they had something along the lines of like F the Longhorns like carved into this dead animal.
Yeah.
There is no surer way to lose a football game than to do that the day before. This game's over. It's done. Yeah. They should call it off.
I mean, we might get an Arch Manning sighting, dude, in the third quarter if things go to plan there. So, but yeah, it'll be. I
would be so embarrassed if I was an Oklahoma State fan.
Dude, I'd be like, if you're a player, I'd be pissed. Like, what are you guys doing? You know, there's just no need for that.
Yeah, I'd be like,
give them bulletin board material.
Dumb.
Yeah,
but, yeah. I think Texas takes that one.
I would say that Beach probably feels the same, but I can see in the background currently an ASU Sun Devil hanging by his neck.
The best part about that is right above his bed. So he sleeps right under that every single day.
To be fair, outside of actually like killing the actual human that is the mascot, Sparky is fictional, so I cannot commit a crime like that.
You know what?
As much as I would wish I could.
You know what Beach's dream is, man, is to have been the mascot that started throwing hands with the ASU mascot a couple years ago in that game. Do you remember that?
Bro, I would have knocked that guy out.
I would
have knocked that guy out.
Dude, they were actually
all
fighting.
I'm saying is
hilarious.
They were. But all I'm saying is that as soon as that got brought up, Beach got awfully quiet because he was not going to share his 2 cents. You know, they should have done 2 Longhorns.
Oh my gosh! Like, if I'm being honest, that is wild to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot imagine being that insane to think that I'm just gonna do that and kill a Longhorn and put it on their campus. Like, that's almost too far. It is almost too far.
Almost.
Yeah. So it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. Just like you said, you're just giving them bulletin board material, and they're not gonna have any impact on the game. So
yeah,
if I was a player, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State cooked.
Yeah, for sure.
Watch them come out and win now that we all said that.
That'd be insane. I'd be so pissed.
No chance.
Moving on, SEC championship, Bama, Georgia again. Who do you guys think comes out on top on this one? This feels like, Bama's had a season that has not been as good as previous seasons, I think, but they still feel like one of the top 3 teams in the country. I don't know. Who do you guys think takes this one?
Georgia. Like, I just don't. I think it comes down to quarterback play, and I just don't believe that Jalen Milroe is going to really be able to pass the ball effectively against this defense.
Beach, what about you?
I think that Georgia's going to win too. I just think they're the overall better team.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Kyle was alluding to, though, I'm going to be interested to see how the quarterback play is for both teams because I don't really trust either one of those guys.
Yeah, fair.
Jalen Milroe is coming off of a career highlight. I mean, that ending play against Auburn was incredible.
Give him the Heisman. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, give him the Heisman. So we'll see how they do. I still think Georgia's the better team, so I lean towards them. But obviously, Bama's got the history. They got Nick Saban, and they got talent everywhere, just like Georgia does. So
yeah,
it'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, my question is, I think Georgia wins as well. My question is, like, Ladd McConkey is dealing with some injuries. Like, there's rumors of him not playing, and then future Charger Brock Bowers as well.
Stop.
Dude. He's been banged up. So if those guys play, I think it'll be Georgia by a couple touchdowns. But if not, I think Bama's got a shot. So next, onto Beach's favorite game of all time, Michigan versus Iowa.
Oh
for
my
the Big
God.
Ten. This one, man, is going to be interesting.
I'm rooting for punts.
Dude,
you will get them.
I don't understand. Iowa is giving up 12 points a game. They're scoring 18 a game, right?
They're averaging it up.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's scoring 37. Their offense is a lot better, but their defense is only giving up 10. Like, it's the best in the country. This game could legitimately end up like 17-3. Like, and I think that's on the high end.
That's a pretty good line, Joe. Honestly, like I think it's going to be one of the games of all time, and I don't think that it's going to be very fun to watch unless you're defensive coordinator Jacob Beach.
Yes.
But I'm an agent of chaos, and I think that it would be so electric if Iowa somehow won this game like 3-0.
Oh my gosh!
Just absolutely ruin the playoff.
That would be so exciting.
That'd be so sick.
That would be awesome.
would be so livid that that's how the game ended up, but also excited that Michigan lost.
Yeah,
I
100%.
I want nothing. I want nothing less than a game that is that low scoring. It hurts me so much.
I have a question for both of you.
Yes. Oh no!
Go for it. That's the answer. Go for it in fourth down.
No. When it comes to the conference titles, do you prefer the division format like the Big Ten has, or do you prefer what the Pac-12 has now gone to, and what some of these other conferences have, where it's just the top two teams get into the championship game?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason I'm asking that is because with the Big Ten, it'd be Ohio State, Michigan every year, like back-to-back weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we want that back-to-back weeks, or do we kind of like just saving it for rivalry week? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Joe, do you care if I get this off real quick?
Go for it.
I mean, I could just be a Pac-12 homer, but I think that there's no reason why the top two teams shouldn't play each other at the end of the year every year. Like, I understand like the format, like I get it, but like I think that if it's kind of like one of those things where it's like if you don't like it, then stop it. You know, like if Ohio State and Michigan are really just the two best teams year in and year out, then like the only way you stop that from happening is just beat them. You know, like that's kind of what I think. Like I think that the two best teams should have a shot at the championship. It just doesn't really make sense to have it any other way, in my opinion. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I take the other side. I like the division format. You know, I understand the idea of one of the two best teams in the conference championship, but I'll also say like I'm of the opinion of just like if you're on the other side, then like recruit better. And I know it's not that simple. I know it's not just like, oh, Iowa just needs to recruit better and get better. It's like, but that's my opinion. I'm like, if you're Ohio State, win your side of the division to get to the title game. You know, like beat Michigan. And then if you're Iowa or if you're on the opinion of like, well, I don't want Iowa, and it's like that they won their side and they got a chance to do some magic as well. So I like the division format. I think it's fun, but I'm also not like planting my flag super strongly on that side.
I think the division format is great when your talent is equally spread out, but I think it becomes a problem when you have one side of the divisions just loaded, and then the other side is just not nearly as good. Like I think that's why the Pac-12 went away from the divisions, is because there were years where it was like the North was just so strong, with Oregon was always up there, Washington was another one, Stanford when they were at their peak. Like you were just sending all these North teams that were so good, and then the South was just this mixed bag of whoever just kind of got there. So like some years it'd be USC, some years it would be, you know, Utah, especially the last like 5 or 6 years, had really gotten there consistently. But then Arizona made an appearance, ASU made an appearance, Colorado made an appearance. Like you just had this random mixed bag, but it always felt like the better teams were always in the North. And so I think that's why the Pac-12 went away with it. But I think both sides have a fair argument. It just kind of depends on where the talent's at in each conference.
Yeah, and I'm looking it up right now. It looks like the Big Ten they began divisions in like 2011. Looks like it doesn't look like they had them in 2010. And back then that was when what's it called? I mean, that's when Michigan State was really good. Ohio State was on and off at the time, bouncing from Urban Meyer, switching coaches and whatnot. Nebraska was still good at the time, you know, Michigan, Wisconsin. So I feel like the talent was a little bit more spread out in the Big Ten, and we wouldn't really be having this conversation if it wasn't just Ohio State, Michigan every single year. So I get the arguments for both sides, and it's one of those things of like, if it works out in the division side, great. If it doesn't, people are going to be mad. It's like a lose-lose battle to me. But then on the other side, if you end up like the Big 12, right? It's like the best teams are probably Oklahoma and Texas, but Oklahoma isn't even in the conference championship, you know?
Yeah.
So things like that happen.
I think too, of like the SEC has divisions, but nobody complains about it because the talent's so spread out that it's like, I don't care who gets there. It's going to be a great game no matter what. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Like you don't worry about it so much in like the SEC, but then you look at the Big Ten East versus West, and it's like, man, those teams I think it's the Big Ten West. It's like those teams don't really compete as much as the other ones in the East. So
I just think that if you're like the conference commissioner and your goal is to have your best team represented at the next level, like why would you not put your best two teams like in the championship? That's I don't know.
Yeah,
I could be oversimplifying, but like I
no, that's true. I think the one argument you could have that could go against it is in college football, especially in this format, one loss is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have these two best teams, you're potentially knocking another one of your really good teams out, or you're just eliminating yourself completely out of the race because your teams just beat each other up. Like I think that's what the Pac-12 has done for so many years is even if they had great teams with that 9-game conference schedule, they'd just beat each other up and somebody would ultimately take a loss.
Yeah.
That's why Washington getting through unscathed was such a high point for success because that's like never happened. Usually there's always a 1 or 2 loss team that gets the Pac-12 title.
Yeah. Another note too with the Big Ten when they made the switch to divisions in 2011, but then they changed the format of the divisions in 2014. So up to 2013, Michigan and Ohio State were on two different sides. In 2014, they switched it to where when Rutgers and Maryland joined the conference, they like stacked the east side of the division side. So I mean,
and now they're going to switch it all up again with the 4 West Coast teams.
Come on now,
look at that. But lastly, for the Power 5, though, we got Florida State taking on Louisville, presumably starting their third-string quarterback. Tate Rodmaker looks like he's going to be out with a concussion.
Wow.
Do you guys think Florida State has a shot? I mean, Louisville's a very good team. Obviously, if they lose the game, like it's a super easy excuse for the committee to leave them out. But I don't know. You guys think they're able to pull it off?
I don't know. I mean, I know literally nothing about this third string quarterback. Like it's just tough. Like Florida State had all of the ingredients of like a team that could potentially win the national championship. It's just so tough that injuries are real. But I'm pulling for them. Like Louisville's really good, but I'm pulling for Florida State to somehow still make it.
Yeah. I think they definitely can win just because, like Kyle alluded to, their talent is phenomenal everywhere.
They're so well-rounded.
They're one of the top 5, probably most talented teams in the country, if not top 10 for sure. So they have the talent to still beat Louisville, but it's going to be an uphill climb with the third-string quarterback. So we'll see what he can bring, and who knows? Any given Saturday.
Yeah, I will say he's a 4-star recruit coming into college, so it's not like he's just some random scrubber walk-on. So
that's the thing about a program like that. Like you're going to have good talent usually, even at a third-string level. Like you're not going to be bringing in some 2-star guy or some guy that's a walk-on. Like typically it's some guy that has had a high school success or has experienced some level of success in college or whatever it might be. So it's a luxury that they're able to bring in a 4-star recruit that is their third-string quarterback.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I mean, we could be having a Cardell Jones type of situation a few years back, man.
That's true. That's a very good point.
Who was the starter? I forget who the starter was. Was it Braxton Miller, Kenny Guyton? Was it Guyton?
No, it wasn't Guyton. It was Braxton Miller, and then it went over to JT Barrett. I'm pretty sure, and then it went over to Cardell Jones.
Yeah,
his name is Brock Glenn. So
Brock Glenn, dude.
Shout out to Brock Glenn. Hope he pulls
We're rooting
through.
for you, Brock.
Yep.
100%. So all that being said, who do you guys think make the Final Four? Washington's in, I'd imagine. So
have to be
round out your final 3 spots.
I think this championship Sunday is going to be pretty chalk, if I'm being honest. So I think it's going to be Georgia at number 1. I think they beat Bama. Michigan's going to handle Iowa, so they're going to be number 2. Washington stays at number 3. And then I'll be interested to see who jumps up into that 4 spot. I don't think FSU is going to hang on and keep it. Man, it's tough. I was talking to Joe about this, and I don't think it would happen, but I would love for them to just throw Oregon in.
No way.
I would love it.
No way.
Just let's get crazy. Pac-12 last year, let's put 2 of their teams in the playoff when they haven't sent a team to the playoff in 7 years.
Dude, there'd be
let's just get wild.
An uproar if they did that.
Truthfully, Ohio State's probably going to find a way to sneak in as they always do. And,
I would hate that so much, man.
I would
be
as well,
so angry.
Yeah, I mean, we can hate it, but they're not going to be playing. So it might just be one of those things. They're the last team that didn't, they obviously lost to Michigan, but they're the last team that really didn't lose this weekend to get knocked out. So they're just going to, by default, be elevated up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think realistically, it's Georgia, Michigan 1-2, Washington at 3. And then the fourth slot is really kind of the only one that I see is truly up to grabs. I think Texas could be there. I think I would hate to see Ohio State be there, but they could be there. But I'd say probably Texas at 4 for me.
Yeah, I think Florida State, if they win, will take that fourth spot. It's just it's tough for me to see. Like if they win,
they're there. Yeah,
yeah. If they're undefeated, like I could see all the arguments of like, well, they're not as good. Like I don't care. Like they deserve to be there, and it's like TCU last year. I mean they deserve that 4th slot. Really regardless of what ended up happening. So,
but it'll be interesting to
see
see if the playoff committee is like the March Madness committee, because the March Madness committee would like bump them down a seed line because of this, like
which
the
sucks.
Injuries of their quarterbacks. Yeah, it does suck. And so it'll be interesting to see if they take that same approach and be like, well, we don't necessarily want a 3rd-string quarterback in the playoffs. But truthfully, they didn't set that precedent with Cardale Jones when they put Ohio State in at the 4 spot. So I don't expect that to happen this year either. If FSU wins, I think they get in at the 4.
Yeah. If not, I think Texas gets in. If Texas wins, obviously, I think they'll be the 4th spot. I don't see even if Bama wins, I don't see the committee breaking the precedent of head-to-head being important.
But if they did break it, it'd be for Bama.
It would be for Bama.
100%.
Yeah. Did you guys see Nick Saban?
Yep.
Yeah. Did you see what he said was it today or yesterday, dude? Did you see that, Kyle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, that boiled my blood, dude.
Tell the people, Joe.
It boiled my blood. Disrespectful to leave the SEC out. Win your games, Nick. That's all I got to say, man. Don't lose to Texas. And if you don't make it because you end up beating Georgia and you lost your head-to-head to Texas, you didn't deserve to be in there in the first place because you lost your head-to-head with Texas. You deserve to be behind them. So, and there's no disrespect to leaving the SEC out. The SEC is still great. I will say it is not the complete powerhouse that it once was. Really, just wipe the floor with everybody every single time. But it's still the best conference. But it's like, man, I just think that's a sense of entitlement that bugs me and just irks me to my core.
Get him, Joseph.
Well, if Texas does get in, the SEC still does get in. So,
not yet.
We just have to see what happens.
That's good. Anything else with college sports, fellas?
Should we talk Heisman?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, who do you get? I mean, finalists. I feel like it'll be Penix, it'll be Nix, and Daniels, right? You can probably throw Williams in there as well.
Williams is not going to win. He's not even going to be. I hope he doesn't even get invited. But
he shouldn't be invited.
Yeah. I think that Bo Nix. I love it in sports when awards are so clearly up for grabs with one game. And Bo Nix could have won the Heisman if he won this game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He did not. So I think that Jaden Daniels is going to take this home. I think it's.
Oh no!
Yep.
I
think if Jaden Daniels doesn't win it, it's a stupid award this year. It's broken. Jaden Daniels deserved this award. It does. It's not really close, I think.
And I saw Beach's heart sink as soon as I said that, but and mine does too a little bit.
Yeah.
But like if we look at it objectively, there's no way that you can give it to anybody but him. And then Penix, I think, is right there at number 2.
Yeah, probably.
See, that's where I'm at. Just like Joe was just saying, win your games.
Okay.
And I know we're going to get on the thing that quarterbacks, wins aren't a quarterback stat, right?
We're into this right now, Beach. Let's go. Let me hear what you got to say, and then I'll talk.
Penix just finished an undefeated season, played well tonight in the Pac-12 title game. I think you give it to him. Mm-hmm. Washington's had a great year. He's had a phenomenal year. I think you give it to him. And of course, I'm biased. I don't want Jaden Daniels to win it, even though he's been phenomenal.
However, I'm sure you're not a little bit biased.
However, I still think that you can give it to Penix and people wouldn't be upset. And the
only
people that are going to be upset are in Tempe and Baton Rouge. And
I would be upset. I don't like
Texans.
Jaden Daniels any more than you do, but dude, he put up 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards total, man. Like 1,000 on the ground.
Don't care.
Caleb Williams lost 3 games last year. RG3 lost many games the year he won it. Dude, Lamar Jackson wins don't matter. If you are the best player, you are the best player, and that was Jaden Daniels this year.
Let's just give it to Tedero McMillan then.
No,
okay.
Go to the box, Beach.
What?
Go to the box.
You said if we're giving it to the best player, let's give it to the best player.
No, go to
Beach,
the
that was
box,
unnecessary.
Man. We're moving on to the NBA. Beach, when is Brad Beal supposed to be back?
I think, his reevaluation's in another week because it's been 2 weeks since they first ruled him out. It's probably still another week or two after that. So I'm hoping he can come back by the Christmas game. I think that'd be really cool if that was one of their first games where all 3 of them are healthy and ready to play. But if he's back by January, I think that's probably the realistic timeline we're looking at. And I'm fine with it. At the end of the day, there's no structural damage. You just want him to be able to get back on the court and be 100%. I didn't want to do this whole thing throughout the season where it was like, okay, today is his back good enough to play, or is he out this game? Like, I wanted to just be able to see him healthy, get in a groove, and get ready for the ultimate goal, and that's in the playoffs.
Yeah, totally. So hopefully we can see them on the court all soon. I mean, like you said, Booker's was what? His ankle sprain wasn't that bad, so he should be back soon.
Just rolled it on somebody's foot. If it was the playoffs, I think he could have played today, but there's no sense risking it this early, especially after he's already had ankle and foot injuries to start the season.
Yeah,
so totally. Get him healthy. I think he'll be back for sure Tuesday against the Lakers for the quarterfinals of the in-season tournament.
Yeah, that's the next thing, man. The in-season tournament, the knockout round is set, man. We got Lakers, Suns, Kings, Pelicans in the West, and then the East is the Bucks and Knicks, and the Pacers versus the Celtics. How do you guys see that playing out?
Beach, do you wanna make your hot takes, or should I make mine? I think I kind of have mine already.
You can go for it.
I guess I'm gonna work from my winner down. So okay. I think that the Celtics win this tournament. I do. I think so. I think that the Celtics are going to beat the Pacers. I think that the Kings are going to beat the Pelicans. I think that the Suns will beat the Lakers. I think that the Bucks are going to beat the Knicks. I feel like there's just no hot takes here. But what I do think is that I think that the Suns and the Celtics are going to play. And I could be just appealing to my target audience here. But I think that the Suns... I do think that the Celtics will win the game. But I think that the Suns are probably who I would say are my dark horse, I guess you could say, to win this whole thing. Like, if there's anybody that's going to beat the Celtics that's left, I think it's the Suns.
Yeah,
be just pleased with my take.
Yeah, I'm going to go a different direction.
Oh no!
As much as it pains me to say this, I think that the Lakers.
What is wrong with you?
Are going to win the in-season tournament.
Dude, you're a real fan.
And I think it's because the refs are going to be on their side in every single game. And they're going to make sure it's LeBron going against the Celtics in the first in-season tournament final. That is what the NBA is dreaming about.
You're so right, and I hate that you as a Suns fan bring that up because it makes you look terrible. But you're right though.
No, you can hate me all you want. I had to live through Tim Donahue literally betting on our games. Like, you can get mad at me for saying the refs are going to rig it. Like, they already have. So, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, it's the in-season tournament. I don't know how much fans or players or really anybody is going to care about this in 10 years. But can you imagine the success the NBA would be feeling if in the first iteration it is the Lakers versus the Celtics on primetime television with LeBron going against Tatum and Brown and Anthony Davis sitting on the sideline in street clothes with some undisclosed injury. Like that's what they want. They want that to happen. I think that's where we're headed.
I don't know if I hate this take or love it because you're so bitter. And
I still hate Tim Donahue.
I could see it. I just personally don't. I don't think that even with the refs on their side that the Lakers are playing well enough to, like, unless they're blatantly rigging the game, to have them win a couple games. but I respect the take. Joe, what do you think?
I've never seen this before. I've never seen a fan of a team pregame say the refs lost the game for us.
Just making excuses before.
This is history, fellas. That's bingo. Sports podcast. We've never witnessed this.
I don't think it's the first time. I'm sure there's been other fans that have already said this.
You see that, Paul?
It's just
I already shot 20 free throws, man.
It's one of those things. You just know you're already down 10 points the second you step in the building. Like it is what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Yeah, I think the Celtics will take it as well. I mean, I want to see the Kings in there personally. I think that'd be super fun to see De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis get in there. But I think the Celtics will take it. It's been a fun in-season tournament so far, though. It's been really interesting to see how it's played out. So I'm excited for these next last few games.
Can I just talk about some hypocrisy?
Oh no.
Sorry, you just triggered this in my mind. Jason Tatum gets on a post-game press conference and gets on this soapbox about how he's like, look, I don't think, trying to run up the score in these games is very, sports. It's not showing sportsmanship. Like, I don't think we should be a part of it. Like, it's just not what we should be doing. And then, like, a night later, the Celtics are out there in a game intentionally fouling Andre Drummond to try to run up their point total. Like, it was just the biggest thing of hypocrisy that I think I could have seen when you have your star player openly bashing the fact that teams are trying to run up the score at times to get a higher point differential, which is literally the second tiebreaker outside of head-to-head. So it's an important piece. And then to go from that to then you are now openly intentionally fouling a player to try to increase your point differential to get you a better spot. Like, it just made me so mad. It's like, if you don't know the rules and you don't like them, just say that.
You feel better?
That was a very conservative Facebook profile.
Can I? Yes. I just say it all stemmed from Devin Booker took a 3 at the end of the Memphis Grizzlies game, and he banked it in, and everyone's like, "Well, that's a stupid. Why would you do that?" And ultimately, we got in either way because the Houston Rockets ended up losing. But if the Houston Rockets would have beat the Dallas Mavericks this past Tuesday, the Suns would have made the wild card spot by 1 point, all thanks to that Devin Booker 3 at the end of the Memphis game, as well as an Eric Gordon 3 that they had at the end of the Lakers game. So that point differential was massive. So him taking a garbage time 3 when he really didn't need to would have got them in. And instead, it's Jason Tatum just hates it, but then it's fine when his team does it. I can't stand hypocrisy.
Beach is just absolutely possessed by Suns Twitter right now.
It's a stranglehold on my life again.
He's on one, man. Beach, you have anything else that you want to get out right now?
Are you okay?
I mean, Devin Booker's game winner was pretty cool the other night. I enjoyed watching that.
I don't think we've gotten through any part of this podcast so far without talking about some sort of Arizona sports content.
Also, Kevin Durant tonight was 0 for 10 and a half, and that was the first time that had ever happened in his career, so that was cool.
Okay, we got to get him in line. That was like a trifecta of bingos. You're done for now.
This is why we get more podcasts at 11:45 p.m.
Yeah.
Fellas, the Orlando Magic are currently 13-5. They are 1 game behind Boston for the 1 spot in the East right now. Dude, led by a bunch of young guys, man. You got Banchero, you got Franz Wagner. They kind of feel like the OKC of the Eastern Conference right now. Feels like a really easy comp. I don't know. Did you guys, as NBA basketball fans, do you guys expect Orlando to come out this hot? Do you expect them to be gelling this quick? What do you guys think about their early season run?
I think anybody that told you that they were expecting this would be lying to you.
Yep.
It's so random because they really didn't add anybody besides Joe Ingles. Shout out to Joe. But Paolo is good. He's very good at basketball. It's crazy. I did not think that he was going to be that good. Jalen Suggs is good. The Wagner boys are good. And I did not think that they were good. And I was wrong. I owe you an apology. I was not familiar with your game, Orlando.
Kind of reminds me of the Kings last year, where it was like
Yeah.
all of a sudden
Yeah,
they
that's a good
just
comp.
gelled and everything just started working. And it's not like they made any real big additions. It's just that they made a lot of moves on the outside of their roster that have just kind of solidified the rest of their talent. And they've been fun to watch. It's exciting when a young team, a new team, kind of jumps up into the elite of the elite. And so I hope they can keep it up for the rest of the season. Obviously, it's we're only about 20 games in, so there's a long way to go. But man, they've been playing some really great basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dream finals that'll never happen. Thunder, Magic. Let's go.
You're right. That will never happen.
NBA's
We need to see it. I want that bad now.
Refs won't let that happen.
They will not let that happen. They will get LeBron back to the finals, as Beach knows. Anything else in the NBA you guys want to discuss?
Tim Dunn. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Okay, moving on to the NFL. Boys, we finally had an entertaining Thursday night game for the first time
great
in
game.
like
And
a
I couldn't
year
watch it.
or two. Yeah, Coach Beach was in session. But dude, that was a blast, man. That game was a lot of fun. Lots of points. Gino was on fire. Dak played well, and there was like points left on the board too, which is crazy. So super stoked on that. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on Thursday night?
Gino finally looked like he didn't write back. This was like one of the first games this year where he's like actually looked like worth the money that he was paid. So that was fun. That was fun for me. Yeah, I love Gino.
Yeah. No, the Seahawks they'll need to. I mean, they've lost their past two tough teams, and they got a brutal schedule upcoming. So, but it's good news for them that Gino is maybe figuring it out this season again. And those uniforms look so good.
Dude, those I thought they were going to win the game because of those uniforms alone.
Dude, they are beautiful.
But I was going to say, how about Dak? He's been on a tear. Like
Dak is the MVP right now.
Stop. You think?
Dude, he is. He's for sure. I mean, look, I'll preface this. The MVP is Tyreek Hill. No quarterback should win it this year. Tyreek Hill should be the MVP. But because a quarterback will win it, Dak is a front runner, and I don't think the quarterback behind him is particularly close.
Just say it's Jalen Hurts. Just say his name.
Dude, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I don't think he should be even number 2. I think that should be Patrick Mahomes. Look, I'm a
wins aren't a quarterback stat again.
I'm a Jalen Hurts hater, man.
I know. I was just gonna say, dude, just say that you hate the guy. But he's a good quarterback. I got to give that to him. But I think he's overrated. He's a system quarterback, and he shouldn't be in like the top of the MVP discussion right now.
Kyle.
Yes.
Would you rather have Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts?
We've been over this one before.
It just depends on my team. Honestly, it depends on my team. What team do I have? Give me a non-biased, neutral third-party team, and I'll answer the question. Oh, that's a great one, Beach. I think I'd take Jalen Hurts. And
insane, dude.
And here's the reason why.
I love seeing Joe just so angry right now. He's fuming over there. He is hot.
I ran in the face, man.
Oh my gosh.
There's steam coming out of
his. He's matching that Angels logo on his hat, man.
That's a fact. Yeah, I take Jalen Hurts, 1, just because I really want to disagree with Joe. But 2, I take it because I think that the Vikings are just the NFC Chargers, like in the way that they're coached, in the way that their team is built, in the way that they lose a lot of football games at the end of the game. Sorry, Joe. But yeah, I think that what's slept on is Jalen's red zone ability. Like, I know that he's going to score. Like, he scores a touchdown, whether it's through the air or on the ground, like I don't even know, like 1,000,000% of the time. Joe will probably have stats that he knows off the top of his head. But I just think that that's a super underrated part of his game. And not to say that Herbert's bad, but like I just think that if I'm choosing between the two, I still think it's close, but I still think I'm taking Jalen.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts just has that aura.
Yeah. I think Joe
you just think he's hot, dude.
No. He's a good-looking dude. But Joe is, that's just like the video that you were sending us about Joe Flacco. You know, it's just like the same principle. You're like, there's just Justin Herbert just has some of the intangibles. He just makes me feel safe.
Dude, I just, my thing with Hurts is like, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a talented guy.
No, you don't.
I do. I think he's a talented guy. But ultimately, I think that there is a severe tier drop off in talent from several guys ahead of him. And I also think that, like, dude, when we saw him with a team that wasn't good, he was not good. And vice versa, we see other guys with teams that aren't good and they're consistently succeeding themselves. And maybe the teams necessarily aren't winning, but to me, that's like, again, I don't. If you're winning and you're not winning, but you're performing good, like that's not on you. Like
I have a question, Joe. And if just like objectively, like since you're a Jalen Hurts as a system QB guy, what would Jalen have to do for you to be like, okay, he is objectively an elite NFL quarterback? What would he have to do?
Yeah, I think there's a sense of like if he produces at the level that he produced, I want to say last year, if he produces at that level for a consistent 2-3 years, I think that's what I'm willing to say. What I see this year is I don't think Jalen Hurts has performed at all to the standard he did last year. This is a hot take. I think the only reason that Jalen Hurts is actually considered a top tier player is because of fantasy football. But that is a completely different conversation. I think that he was the top scorer or close to it. So people are like, now he's a good quarterback and it's his rushing ability, right? And I think that is valuable. I think that rushing has to be taken into account to a quarterback's overall ability now. But I think to answer your question, he's got to be consistently producing to the level that he did last year. I want to see 2-3 seasons, because that means that there's things turning over. That means that there's coaches leaving your system. There's things like that. That means that you can beat, you can beat players. You can beat other teams. You can perform well, really, despite your situation. And then I think also what I want to see is I want to see him carry a team, which he doesn't have to do. You know, that's what I see. Is I don't see him having to pull any weight. I think he just works seamlessly in a system that lets him use his legs, in a system that doesn't really force him to make good throws. He's just able to really throw it up to AJ Brown. I see Jalen Hurts doesn't stand in the pocket very consistently and is not willing to sit there. And he can bail out because he's a mobile quarterback, but I just don't think he really has what it takes to carry a team when things are bad, because he hasn't had to do that yet. And I could be very wrong. Because we haven't seen it yet, means that I could for sure be wrong, but I just haven't seen it. So that's what I'll say. In Hurts' defense, I have said that last year he did show me some really good things as a passer, and I think he improved dramatically from what was it, 2021 to last season. So I do think he's a good quarterback. He's a top 10 guy, but for people putting him top 5, I think it's insane.
I sit across the aisle from you, Joseph. I think he's elite. Yeah,
that's fair. That's very fair.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will. Anyway, Dak is the MVP. I think that's how this conversation started. Dak is the MVP. It's just a fact, man. Nobody is performing like Dak right now.
Except Jalen Hurts.
No, not even Jalen Hurts. Not even Jalen Hurts.
Or Justin
Herbert. More wins.
Or Justin Herbert. Dude, that's facts. Justin Herbert. I hate you, Beach. I hate Beach right now.
I'm the biggest wins or such a quarterback stat guy.
You would be wins or a quarterback stat kind of guy. Baby. You would do that just to annoy me.
No, it's not just to annoy you.
Oh, for sure. Following
DJ
let's move on. Aaron Rodgers is practicing. He was designated to return from the IR. He's saying he'll be back. People are saying he'll be back. He will not be back. I'm not buying it. Aaron Rodgers is not playing the season. What do you guys think?
What? Why would he come? Like, don't they have like a
I don't know
1% chance at why would he do that? I just don't get it.
It's all for pride. That's the only reason. He's trying to like prove to modern medicine that he can beat it or something like that. That's all Aaron Rodgers is trying to do.
And he's gonna beat it.
No, he won't. Either that or he lied. He didn't actually tear his Achilles. He's not coming back this year.
Look who's going against modern medicine now, Joseph.
Not me.
He couldn't beat the 49ers, so he's trying to beat modern medicine now.
Oh, man. But yeah, if he comes back, I'm going to be really, really surprised.
What, Kyle, you'll remember this better than I will. Mm-hmm. What year did Cam Akers tear his Achilles and come back in like 5 months?
I believe that was 2020. I could be mistaken. I think it's 2019 or 2020. But you have to keep in mind, like, he was playing running back, and like, we could take him off the field because when he did come back and play, like, he was playing in like 3-play bursts, and then he'd be out for like a drive. But he looked good after. So
yeah,
but I don't know.
I remember texting you about it and just being like, how is this even possible? Like, this isn't, when a guy, ruptures his Achilles, like, he's out the whole year. And he was really the first one I remember coming back in such a short amount of time. Now, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, if he were to somehow step foot on an NFL field this year, is not going to be the Aaron Rodgers that is running around making plays and being a playmaker at quarterback. But to say that he can't sit back there and just play from the pocket and throw the ball downfield, I'm not going to put it past him at this point. I mean, would I be shocked if he came back and played? Yes, I would. But at the same time, he looks good moving around on it. If it's somehow stable enough for him to get out there and just play from the pocket, he might just try to do it.
I just would hate for Aaron Rodgers' career to end like this. Like, that would just suck so much if he comes back and just gets destroyed because he can't run outside the pocket.
And their line is terrible.
And they're playing for nothing. Like, there's nothing to play for. So that's what I don't get.
Yeah. Just like I really do think it's entirely just for a pride aspect. I don't know what he's doing it for, whether it's for Robert Saleh or for his own personal pride. But it's
like this is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. Like, he's been one of the most prideful quarterbacks in the NFL for the last like decade and a half. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
To say that we're shocked by him being prideful and wanting to get back out there is ridiculous. Like, this is something Aaron Rodgers would do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's fair.
It doesn't shock me that he's trying to get back out there, whether it is to prove himself against modern medicine or to say he came back and played the position in only 4 months and do something that nobody else has done. Like, it's Aaron Rodgers, man. That's all that dude lives to do. So yeah, like I said, I'd be shocked, but I'm not going to put it past him.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. That's my final say there.
Just like you're not buying that wins our quarterback stat.
100%. We'll never buy that, even if it's free. Get that out of here, dude. Throw it away.
Well, then you can't buy it.
Shut up. You don't know anything. All right. Moving on. I got my weekly Super Bowl contenders. We had a little bit of movement for the first time in a while there. I still think Baltimore Super Bowl contender, San Francisco. Kansas City is still number one by far. Philadelphia, Jacksonville, still putting them up there. But I think we have a newcomer, and it's the Dallas Cowboys. I think I bought into the Cowboys.
Oh, here we go.
I'm a believer now, man. Which is kind of wild because I remember early on we were having conversations. We're saying they need to blow it up, and I was of that opinion too. I'm like, I've just not seen it. But
we did say that
they have completely shifted. Yeah, and they've shifted, dude. Like, literally, they put the ball in Dak's hands, and they are flying. It's awesome to see.
It's the new cadence.
But I think it's a prime example of like why overreactions are fun, but also you gotta be careful. But I mean, dude, they have the pass rush. They have a great defensive line. Their offensive line is good. They have the quarterback play. I'm still a little bit wary of Mike McCarthy, but dude, Dallas is for real. For the first time in like since I can remember, I believe in Dallas as an actual Super Bowl contender. Moving on to the rest of the season.
Who would have thought that Kellen Moore was the bigger fraud compared to Mike McCarthy?
That's honestly facts. Like looking at everything, I'm sitting here and I'm like, bro, it was not Kellen. I mean, he's been good. He's been good. Don't get me wrong, but
their offense has been incredible the last like month and a half. Like you said, they are putting the ball in Dak's hands. He's not turning the ball over. He's making the right reads. CeeDee Lamb's being CeeDee Lamb. Like, man, they look very, very good. Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens when they do run into like the 49ers or Philadelphia in the playoffs, especially if they do have to go on the road.
Yeah.
But they're playing as well as anybody in the league right now. They definitely can make a run at a Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, you make an interesting point of like Dak not turning the ball over, which is fascinating. Again, the narrative built around Dak. Like last year was the first year I think that he had thrown more than like 11 picks in a season, which is wild. Like Dak has never been a turnover-prone quarterback. It's just like what Allen is facing this year.
I was just gonna. Well, Dak was getting talked about like how Josh Allen should be getting talked about.
Yeah,
because you want to talk about turnover-prone. Yeah. I mean, Josh Allen is right there. Like he's turning the ball over a ton, and it's been pretty much every single year of his career.
Yeah. So it's fun, but the Lions, I think the Detroit Lions have fallen. I no longer believe in Detroit as an actual contender. For a while they were playing well on defense. They're rushing the passer. Their defensive line was playing awesome. They still have a great offensive line, but like Goff fell off a cliff. Their pass rush has been non-existent the past several weeks. I always had some concerns around like Dan Campbell is an X's and O's guy. Obviously, they have Ben Johnson, but I don't know if Detroit has it. And then lastly, the injury to Jalen Phillips from Miami sucks on a lot of different levels because I was starting to buy into the Dolphins. I was looking at them and I'm saying their defensive line is playing better. They're improving. Obviously, getting Jalen Ramsey in the secondary back was huge, but Phillips was coming into his own as a pass rusher. He was becoming that dude to close out games. Obviously, their offensive line is shaky, but they have a good head coach. They had a good quarterback, and I was thinking that they could move into that tier of like they have four pieces. They could make a run, but Phillips, losing him for the season, I don't know if they have that pass rusher to take over late in the game anymore, which just a bummer because I was starting to believe Miami.
Yeah. That video of him after he got injured was just heartbreaking. Like I remember watching that and I was just like, oh man, you're just gutted for somebody that's playing so well. They're putting it all together on the field and then just something like that. And he knew right away too. He's like, I think I popped my Achilles, and it's just that sucks, man. That was gut wrenching to watch.
Yeah, 100%. So definitely a bummer, but to conclude that, Baltimore, San Francisco, Kansas City, Philadelphia, Jacksonville, Dallas, I think those are the teams that can and will contend for a Super Bowl in real life and not just in people's dreams. So
it's a lot of good quarterback play for the no quarterback matters.
Hey, yeah, quarterback's important. You need good quarterback play. That can be system or superhero. Doesn't matter. You just need good quarterback play. But you fellas got anything else?
Joe Flacco.
I think we've rambled on.
Joe Flacco is playing this week, probably.
Joe Flacco is playing against my Rams.
It's elite. We're just about to find out just how elite Joe Flacco is.
They're gonna have a mid-off on live television.
Oh man, that'll be a fun one. That'll be a fun one.
Rams.
Go Chargers.
Go Cardinals.
All right.
Bear down.
Well, hey everyone. Thanks for listening. That's all we got for you today. You can find us on X, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at That's Bingo Pod for more. We will see you guys next time. Deuces.
I love you.